Tonight on the MTN News, unexpected repairs.
One side of the stadium is higher than the other.
The student athletes deserve better, and frankly, the visitors deserve better.
Why the overhaul of historic Daylis Stadium will cost even more than planned, leaving the school board scrambling. Also, sending in the troops.
Chicago is a disaster, and the governor of Illinois should say, President, would you do us the honor of cleaning up our city? We need help.
President Trump threatens to send more National Guard troops to more American cities. And escaping an inferno.
Until the fire crews could get here, we were able to do what we could.
One couple fought back the flames of a huge Wyoming wildfire on their own. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. An investigation is underway tonight after the body of a man was found floating in the Yellowstone River late this afternoon. The sheriff's office says helicopter pilot Gary Blaine spotted the body floating near a sandbar near the Duck Creek Bridge around 4 this afternoon while returning from a search and rescue operation in Stillwater County. Sheriff Mike Linder says it appears to be an accidental drowning, that the victim was wading in the water when they were pulled in by the current. The name of the victim has not been released at this time. After getting close to the goal line, a setback in the drive to raise the money needed for an overhaul of Billings' historic Daylis Stadium. Turns out repairs are going to cost even more than originally thought, more than $2 million more. David J. is looking at the reason for the increase and what the school board plans to do about it.
Well, another high school football season is almost upon us. Push to build the new stadium is still a ways from the goal line.
What we're trying to really achieve is minimize the cost for the taxpayer.
Price tag for a new Daylis Stadium is now $14.9 million, up $2.4 million due to problems with the playing field. You may not be able to tell from the grandstands or here near the end zone, but the field slopes. There's a difference of 21 inches from one side of the field to the other, and that's going to be quite the expense to fix.
Now's the time to fix it. Now is the time while we're in a large construction project.
Of course, you don't want to invest $12.5 million in a stadium that is not fully level.
Dr. Garcia says the extra $2.4 million will take care of the slope, arguing it doesn't make sense to invest in a new grandstand, new locker rooms, and other improvements if the field isn't also fixed. He believes that money can be secured through fundraising.
We still have an obligation to provide adequate facilities and instruction. So for that, we're trying to think outside of the box. Fundraising, about 70% of the total costs have been already being secured.
Trustee Zach Tarakitis was the only no vote.
It's frustrating and hard for me, knowing that I'm the ones questioning a lot of the progress that we're making here. There's been no regressive approach to this football stadium until we just were approached with another increase in cost. At no point has this been held back. If anything, we've made a larger commitment.
Tarakitis was concerned with potentially increasing the district's $6.25 million commitment on what was a $12.5 million project to what will now cost $14.9 million.
To Zach's point, I mean, I'm okay with authorizing that, but I am a little concerned that we're not being very clear who's on the hook for what.
The district had hoped to raise half of the $12.5 million through fundraising. Now the district will be looking to raise roughly $8 million of the $14.9 million through fundraising.
It is possible in Billings, Montana, for an inspired project to raise the roughly $8 million that would be required.
And Rose still anticipates the new Daylis, or what is expected to be called Heenan and Cook Stadium, to be open next year.
If all goes according to schedule, we should be celebrating a grand opening next fall, 2026.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
We're learning more information tonight about a veteran wildland firefighter who died in the line of duty battling the Bivens Creek fire in southwest Montana. Ruben Gonzalez Romero of Keyser, Oregon, suffered a cardiac emergency while on the fire lines. He was a 20-year veteran working primarily as a sawyer, a firefighter who fells and cuts trees and brush with a chainsaw. Ruben's family is en route to Montana, and an honor guard made up of incident and local firefighters will remain with him until his body is carried back home. Northern Rockies Team 6 and state and federal agencies say they're profoundly saddened by the loss, calling it a tragedy that impacts the entire wildland fire community. Crews are making progress on a huge wildfire in Wyoming. The Red Canyon fire is now 75% contained after burning almost 125,000 acres. But for one couple, the fight to save their property came down to their own hands. Our Hannah Pettiferi has their firsthand account of how they beat back the flames.
It makes a roar.
That's how Jennifer Axtell described the sound of the Red Canyon fire.
A wind and a crackling and a rolling all at once.
The fire started near Thermopolis, Wyoming on August 13th.
We saw a lightning strike back behind the hill, and that's a concern this time of the year.
It got out of control fast. I think it was wind and the conditions, and it's a hard thing to stop.
Jennifer and Chip jumped into action to save their land.
Until the fire crews could get here, we were able to do what we could.
Their neighbors also helping the fight.
We had 2 tractors, about 3 vehicles full of people. I had my water tank in the back of my truck.
Chip and others cutting their own lines to prevent the fire from jumping.
And the next day, we just went to a different place where the fire was threatening, and we cut fire lines around where it was coming to. And
the wind playing a pivotal role in the direction of where the fire was going.
We were successful in stopping that from coming any further this direction, and it was definitely with help from the wind.
Incident Commander Jay Mickey says they now have lines around the fire.
We got about 125,000 acres of fire.
And they've moved into repair mode.
Those are lines in areas of the fire where it's cooled off, and we feel like we can repair it as close to back to normal as it was before the fire started.
This area is covered in family ranches, and every acre of land is important.
This fire affected a lot of the ranchers, and obviously grass is very important to them for their cattle operations and things like that.
We spent this last Thursday and Saturday processing our calves and running them through the corral and making sure they were okay.
Jennifer and Chip say they are grateful for all of the help.
We're extremely lucky. There are people that lost so much more than we lost. And
everyone just pulled together,
yeah,
and worked really hard and had a common goal.
In Thermopolis, Hannah Pettiferi, MTN News.
Some National Guard troops patrolling the nation's capital are now armed as President Trump considers deploying more troops to other big cities. CBS's Erica Brown has the latest tonight.
As the White House defended deploying thousands of National Guard troops to the nation's capital, some now carrying service weapons, President Trump floated the idea of sending additional troops elsewhere, including cities like Baltimore and Chicago.
Chicago is a disaster, and the governor of Illinois should say, President, would you do us the honor of cleaning up our city? We need help.
Illinois' Democratic Governor Pritzker swiftly rejected the idea.
What President Trump is doing is unprecedented and unwarranted. It is illegal. It is unconstitutional. It is un-American.
And in Washington, local officials continue to push back.
I don't believe that troops should be policing American cities.
But the National Guard's Joint Task Force in D.C. says part of their mission is to improve the quality of life in the district. Over the weekend, the D.C. National Guard posted this video of troops picking up trash, part of what officials describe as a beautification operation. In the Oval Office Monday, President Trump also suggested a rebranding of the Department of Defense. The president told reporters he plans to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
That was the name when we won World War I, we won World War II, we won everything. Defense is too defensive, and we want to be defensive, but we want to be offensive too if we have to be.
The change could require congressional approval. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
I want to share some of this drone video from one of our sister stations down in Arizona, and look at the dust storm that was moving through around the Phoenix area, actually shut down the airport for a while. Reported 39,000 people had lost their power thanks to this, and it looks like it's going to take quite a while to clean up. These start to develop as thunderstorms start to fall apart, and then it's been particularly dry down into Arizona this summer, and so those dust storms really start to kick up. All of a sudden, a little smoky haze doesn't seem all that bad. Live shot with the Stockman Bank weather cam. 85 was the warmest reading for us today, but we do have a chance of showers and storms moving our way. We'll show you that in a few minutes.
Super Seniors is sponsored by Master Lube.
Well, it's time to introduce you to another super senior who's making a difference in his community. Dave Kimball spent 30 years flying high in the Air Force, but stays grounded these days as the organizer of a community garden that has donated tons of food over the years to those in need.
And it's just wonderful to watch people working together, feeling a common cause, and enjoying the vegetables and serving the community.
That's a monster.
That's a monster.
The harvest is well underway on this morning at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Community Garden. It's a place where Dave Kimball spends a lot of time.
The beautiful thing is a community of gardeners. You can say community garden, but I like it's people working together, and I really enjoy that part of it. So.
The community garden has grown tremendously since Dave and a few other church members got it started 23 years ago. There are now more than 100 plots, half for anyone in the community to use, the other half for a mission garden, with the vegetables donated to organizations that help those in need.
Out of this little mission garden area, from the garden, over 2.5 tons of produce every year. Yeah, it's a lot of food, and they really love it.
Dave grew up on a farm near Hysham and majored in ag ed, so it's not surprising he has an interest in growing things. But that was before spending 30 years in the Air Force as a pilot, then a faculty member at the Air War College.
I always enjoyed the flying. I was in F-100s and F-4s. The challenge of that, it was a life you're moving but seeing different things. You know, I was younger. You get a little older and then you kind of look to put your roots down, and that kind of led us back here.
Dave helped launch the aviation program at Rocky after moving back to Montana, but stays pretty grounded these days, digging in the dirt.
He was an officer in the Air Force at one time, and he uses all of those skills in a really gentle way to make sure that we all do our part. He does more work than anybody else.
Dave has also achieved the highest recognition given by Rotary International, and he's involved with Billings' annual Climate Week, dedicated to climate education and action. Just some of the ways this super senior gives back and practices being a good steward.
It's a feeling of fulfillment that you're doing something that's benefiting other people, it's benefiting our community, and being part of that.
And if you know someone who you think would make a good super senior, nominate them on KTVQ.com. Just click on the Super Seniors tab. It's right there at the top of the page.